Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Visavai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Dear children, today, even though only 3 students, it doesn't matter as long as even one student is there, my class will be there. As Swamiji says, it is glorious to help even a single one person. It is glorious to help even one human being. It is glorious to help even one person. So, if my class, this value education class, or if the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, Sri Sarada Devi, Swami Vivekananda, Vedanta philosophy helps even a single person to solve the problem of life and death, to become a good person, not only to become a good person, but to become an enlightened person. Not only become a great person like any political hero or a theatrical hero or any other kind of hero, but it will, this Vedanta philosophy, teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, this will help one to become enlightened, like enlightened person like Buddha or Vivekananda. So, in one's life, nothing pays. Swamiji says, nothing pays. Money does not pay. Even if you have all the wealth in the world, that is nothing. It will not be of any help when you really need it. Nor beauty, even if you have a very well-built, most handsome or most beautiful body, that is also of no help, because it is all transitory. It will pass away one day. Our own body is not permanent. So what to talk about the beauty in the body? So, nor name nor fame. Name also will come and go. Name and fame, these things will come and go. These things will not last forever. It is the character, stern, strong character, very good character that we can build. Character based upon this Vedanta darshan, a person of enlightenment. That character only pays. That only can help you from all kinds of problem. When you face any kind of problem, in the physical level, money may help you to some extent. Suppose you feel hungry, then you have money, you go and buy something, you eat, then that can help you. Or that's all. Or you can, in the physical level, it can buy you a beautiful flat, some good dresses, or this and that. Physical level, money and these things can help you. But when you go to rise above physical level, when you go to the psychological or uh, spiritual level, that time these things will not help you. Suppose you have lots of money in your hand, but you are suffering from something when you cannot eat anything. So that money will not help you that time. Sometimes it may give you treatment, but even that one also is not permanent. So ultimately, spirituality is the thing that will support you till the last. No other things. So that spirituality, that our character based on spirituality, we will have to be something to hold on. We should have something to hold on. Ramakrishna says, small children, they go round and round, but while they go round and round, but when they do that, they hold on to a prop. They will hold on, then that they will not fall down. If something to hold on is not there, and if the children they go round and round, then after some times their head will heal and they will fall down. But if they have something to hold on, some prop, some stamba, then they can go round and round, but still they will not fall down. Children do that. So in our life also, we should have something to hold on. What is that something we should hold on? That something is spirituality. And how to build our character based on spirituality, for that we should have some ideal. So when we have some ideal, a perfected ideal, not any ordinary kind of ideal, in everything we try to get some role model. Suppose somebody wants to become a good cricket player, then he will have a role model in Sachin Tendulkar or Virat Kohli or something like that. But this is only one side of person's personality, only one side. But overall, even Sachin Tendulkar, Virat Kohli, they also need a spiritual personality, spiritual character to hold on to their own ideal. So, in my view, Vivekananda is the perfect ideal for that. That is why in India, Swami Vivekananda's birthday, that is 12th January, is celebrated as Youth Day. Yesterday we have celebrated Teachers' Day in India. So my best wishes to all the students. Happy Teachers' Day, related. And similarly, for youth also there is some particular day, and that day is the birthday of Swami Vivekananda. It is for youth, means anybody who is energetic, who wants to improve, who wants to build very good character, who wants to do something, who has not given up. So that kind of person is called youth. Youth, mere age does not define youth. It is a psychophysical condition, not merely physical one, but even mentally one should feel that one is the youth. So Vivekananda is ideal for not only youth, but for everyone. Whoever wants to become great, Vivekananda is the ideal. And 12th January is celebrated as the Youth Day. All over India it is celebrated. So let me read out something from the life of Swamiji. Last time I could not do. While reading that, I will just put off my camera and then I will read it. Just a minute. So here it is. Once, when Naren was about 11, a British man of war, that is a warship, visited the port of Calcutta. Many people went to see the ship, and Naren, as Vivekananda used to be called in his childhood days, and Naren and his friends also wanted to see it. In order to do so, they had to obtain a pass from an important British official. Naren filled in an application form and went to the building where the official stayed. Many people were going in, but the doorkeeper thought that Naren was too young and would not let him go. Naren stood outside wondering what to do. He saw that all the people were going to a certain room in the first floor. He thought that perhaps there was another entrance. So he walked round to the back of the building where he found a staircase. There was no doorkeeper there. So he went up to the first floor. He pushed aside a curtain and found himself in the room where the other people were waiting. He took his place in the queue and the British official signed his application without question. Naren went out by the main entrance. The doorkeeper was surprised to see him leave. He said, "How did you get in?" Naren replied, "Oh, don't you know? I am a magician." So this is one episode of Naren. I will read another episode also after some times. Here we can see how Naren was very much creative and innovative, while other friends, they did not know what to do. Naren, though he was very small, somehow he could find out some way, some means. There is a proverb in English where there is a will, there is a way. If there is a will, there is a way. Somehow or other, for every problem there is a solution. There is no problem without solution. So that British man of war, that warship, came to port of Calcutta and everybody wanted to go there. And Naren was too small. Only senior, big people they were going. And Naren, he was not allowed to go inside because that doorkeeper, he thought that he's too small to be allowed to go inside. Somehow he did not allow. But finally, he found out some other back door. From the back door, he went upside and then he was in that floor and he found that the officer who was supposed to sign was there and he signed his that pass permission. So that is how they went and saw that war of British man of war, that warship. So there is one more incident that will show another wonderful character of Naren. There was a flowering tree in the compound of one of Naren's friends. Naren and his friends used to climb this tree and swing from the branches. Naren would hang from a branch by his legs, swing back and forth, and finally somersault to the ground. An old man lived at that house, and he did not like to see them swinging in the tree, for it was risky. One day he called Naren and his friends and said, "Look, don't you know there is a ghost in that tree? A Brahma Daitya lives there. If you disturb him, he will break your necks. Beware that you don't climb that tree again." This was enough to frighten other boys, but not Naren. As soon as the old man was out of sight, Naren went and climbed the tree again. His friends asked, "How do you dare do that, Naren? Didn't you hear what the old man said?" Naren laughed and said, "Oh, what fools you are! I have climbed this tree so many times. If the old man's story were true, my neck would have been broken long ago." So a great lesson to learn here. Let me put my camera on. Here is a great lesson to learn, my dear children. Swamiji always said, Swami Vivekananda always said, never believe anything because it is written in a book, because some old people told you, or something is written in book, or somebody has told you, or it has come by proverb or anything. Never accept it. All these things will become a problem for you if you do not properly digest it. And we have to eat only what is delicious and what is nutritious also. Not only delicious, but it should also be nutritious. So only nutritious food we have to take. Similarly, we also have to take nutritious food, then we have to properly digest it, we have to assimilate it, then only we will become strong. That is the way. So whatever we hear, whatever information we get from others, from books or anything, we should first apply proper reasoning, we should think with our brain, and then only it will be properly digested. And whatever is essential, we should keep it with us, and unnecessary things we should simply throw away. So that is the idea. That is what we learn from the life of Swami Vivekananda. Only believe, only accept what your reasoning will agree with. Yes, this one. Then I will also tell you how in the moment of your suffering and other things, how this spirituality can help you. So here I would like to narrate my own incidents for last few days. I don't know whether I should share all these things with you or not, but I can also in this class maybe I can share my experience with you. Last 4-5 days since Wednesday, due to here also same thing, you know, I ate something which is not, which may be delicious but which was not nutritious, so only for the sake of tongue, and then proper digestion was not there, and what happened? I suffered a terrible colic pain in the morning on Wednesday. Tuesday, something which I should not have taken, uh, I took it. It was very delicious, but it was not nutritious. So you all know, all the children are fond of it, and I would like to share my own experience. That does not mean that I tell you to stop it. I don't tell anybody to do this or do that. I only tell children what is right and what is wrong, and it is for the children to decide for themselves whether to do something or not by their own reasoning power, not because I have told you, but I will tell you my own experience. Only last 3-4 days what happened, I will tell you my own experience. That will explain what I have just now told about Sravana Manana Nididhyasana, that is about cow chewing the cud and digesting. So then it will get, you will get the essence, strength. But if you cannot digest, if your food is not nutritious, then what will happen? I can share my own experience, and it is very much relevant in this context. So let me share my own experience. On Tuesday evening, let me tell you, all children are fond of it. So I took some noodles. All the children are very fond of it. I am also fond of it, so I took it. And then next morning when I got up, I had a severe colic pain on the right side of my lower abdomen. And then somehow I managed, but later on it became very, very intolerable. And on the top of it, I felt vomiting tendency, body wanted to reject it, and then while vomiting, the back of my palate, upper side, my palate, that skin got tore up, it tore up, and then some bleeding also started. So on the one side, terrible pain, and on the other side, bleeding. Then I went to 2-3 nursing homes, nobody was there. No doctor, only nursing home is there. Other staffs are there, but no doctor is there. I didn't get anyone, went to the pharmacist. Then somehow some medicine I got. Then finally it went on increasing, that pain. Then on Wednesday and Thursday, Wednesday day and night, Thursday day and night, whole day and night, it was intolerable pain. And I did not know what to do it. What to do. Then what happened? In this moment, medicine and doctors advise it is on the one side, but everything does not work immediately. Then how to cope with this kind of problem? Then only my this spiritual understanding, I should say, my understanding of Vedanta, my understanding of the gospel of Ramakrishna, only these things help me finally. My devotion to God, these things actually help me to cope with this kind of problem and nothing else. I can tell you, because 2 days I completely suffered in spite of taking medicine and everything. All people were here to ready to serve me. Everything was there, but suffering was mine. Nobody can share my suffering. Nobody can say, okay, you give me my 50% of suffering, pain, and like that we cannot do everything. Our karma phala, that we have to suffer. That time, how I cope with this kind of problem, let me tell you. First of all, our Vedanta philosophy always tells that we are not body, we are the Atman, eternal Atman. That day also I told you that Vedanta philosophy says we are eternal Atman. Body, we are not. Body is temporary, it comes and goes. So, I thought that I am also eternal Atman. So, as eternal Atman, I should not worry when the body is suffering. Actually, it is the body suffering, not me suffering. So, my real nature is ever pure, ever intelligent, and ever blissful Atman. And that is just the experience. And Atman is the experiencer. And the real experiencer is above all pleasure and pain. So my real nature is Atman. So it is unaffected by anything, all kind of suffering and misery in this world. So this is one of the whatever knowledge I had, I applied to cope with this kind of problem. Then next one is our karma, this karma yoga. Our karma yoga, karma Siddhanta, karma yoga says that whatever you do today, man is the maker of his own destiny. It is what it says, our Vedanta. Vedanta says man is the maker of its own destiny. Whatever we do, that we have to, what we sow, so we reap. That is what we do today, its follow, its karma follow, its result, we have to suffer or enjoy. So whatever suffering I am undergoing, it is all my own, because of my own past action. So I should not blame anyone for my suffering. So this is another theory which helped me to cope with this particular kind of problem. Then that is the one. And then next one is the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna itself. Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna says that you should never pray to God for healing and all these things, because from God we should always pray for pure devotion, devotion to God. From God you should pray for only knowledge, that is spiritual knowledge, viveka, spiritual knowledge, and detachment, and then vivek, vairagya, tyag, all these things, and devotion, jnana, bhakti, vivek, vairagya, that is knowledge and discriminatory power and detachment and all these things, and devotion to God. These things only you should pray from God. When you meet a king, meet the king of a country face to face, when you are face to face with the king, you should not ask the king for a mere pumpkin, worthless pumpkin. King can give you something more than that. Similarly, when you see God, you should, from God, you should ask only what is worth asking from God, not for healing of body and this and that. These things are very low category of things. From God we should pray only for highest thing, because He is capable of giving us highest thing. So I did not pray for healing of the body, but I prayed to Him for the strength to tolerate the suffering or pain, whatever we, because our karma follow, we have to suffer, nobody can escape it. So when we have to suffer all the karma follow, let us gladly suffer, but for that we can definitely pray to God for strength. And then finally, a very famous teaching from the Bible that also helped me, which is very often quoted by Swamiji, oft quoted, line by Swamiji, "Thy will be done." That is, Christ prayed to God that if this cup which you have placed near me, and if this cup cannot pass away without my drinking, then thy will be done. That is, let the will of let the will of God be done. So whatever God has willed of for us, let us accept it gladly, whatever God has given us, whether it is pleasure or pain. When we accept pleasure from God, when we accept happiness from God, why not to accept even suffering when He gives us? So, whether pleasure or pain, whatever God gives us, let us accept it gladly. So, thy will be done. That is a line from the Bible. That is Matthew 26, 42. That is a 42 verse and 26 chapter or something like that. So from all these scriptures, these we can get this knowledge, this strength, this power to cope with any kind of things, any problem in life. No physics, my physics or chemistry or English or this and that, anything else did not help. Only scriptures, spiritual knowledge, spiritual devotion to God, all these things only helps you when you are really in a troublesome. So only this much today. We shall meet again next time, and for today I shall stop it here, and after this for sometimes there may bhajan may continue, and then again our arati will continue. Please stay online for other programs, and I will go offline now after this Shanti mantra. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyanto Mataschit Dukkhamatmayat. So may all be happy, may all be healthy, may none be subject to misery, may everyone realize what is good. So this is the prayer of our scripture. Thank you very much. Thanks to all of you